Welcome to the Business of Black Business, a talk show that interviews Black entrepreneurs and advocates for Black businesses. The topics of conversation include access to capital, best business practices, success stories, and more. Now introducing our host, Jay Reynolds.
Hey, good afternoon. This is Jay Reynolds. My name is Jay Reynolds. I own and operate Wolf Creek Consulting. We are a top-rated executive staffing firm located in Fort Lauderdale with offices in Birmingham, Alabama, and West Palm Beach, Florida. And welcome to the Business of Black Business. Now, this is a show designed to help Black entrepreneurs and would-be Black entrepreneurs to get advice from successful Black businesses. It's a really unique opportunity to gain access and hear directly from successful business owners, to hear how they did it, to hear how it happened, and ultimately to kind of be in the room where it happened. Now, before we get started, one of the most important things I need to do is to thank our sponsors, because we certainly couldn't do this without them. The Mesman and Dover Personal Injury Attorneys, the Florida Lottery, Career Source of South Florida. Thank you guys very much for supporting this and supporting Black businesses. So, okay, today we have a unique opportunity to interview Dr. Venessa Walker, Dr. V. First of all, I want to introduce her, and I'm going to obviously read her bio, but you know the way we play this is that my real intention is to let you hear from her, how she did it, how she made it happen, to again be in the room where it happened to get that advice from her. So, Dr. V, thank you very much for being here. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I am well this Monday morning.
Cool. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to read a part of your bio, and it's certainly not all inclusive, but it'll give people a flavor for who you are. Okay. Dr. Venessa Walker, affectionately known as Dr. V, is a chiropractic physician, minister of the gospel, and educator. She is the founder and owner of Walker Chiropractic and Wellness Center. She is also the creative mind behind My Whole Body supplements and wellness brand, where she sells vitamins, supplements, and other daily immunes. She has 19 years experience in the chiropractic field, with over 12 as a physician, with advanced training in sports, personal injury, and prenatal. Now, after graduating from high school, Dr. Walker earned a bachelor's degree in biomedical science from the University of South Florida and her doctorate degree from Palmer College of Chiropractic. Dr. Walker is the president of the Broward County Chiropractic Society and president of the Owen Walker Jr. Foundation. Now, with that being said, Dr. Walker, that's the bio, but we really want to hear about who you are from you. We want to get that, that wisdom from you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, the stuff we're not going to glean from your bio. Tell us about who you are and why.
Okay. So again, Dr. Venessa Walker. I am a chiropractic physician, but if we get back to basics, I'm an immigrant from Jamaica. My family migrated here when I was 9 years old, and I matriculated through the public school system here in Miramar, and then went to Strandon High School, where I did the medical magnet program. So this love that people say about chiropractic chose me. I didn't actually choose chiropractic. I knew I wanted to be a doctor. My mom was a nurse, and I loved how she gleaned when she was helping people. And I was like, well, I want to do that. And to say the least, most of the things I do circle around helping people. I love to see people thrive. I love to see them meet their goals. So I went to the University of South Florida because when I was in high school, I did an Upward Bound program, and they went to USF. And when I was there, I was like, I like this school. I'm coming back to this school. And I did. And in my first year at the University of South Florida, we had a class called University Experience. You're supposed to go to someone who's in the field that you desire to be in and shadow them.
Right.
I did that. I got into the yellow pages. I don't think those things are around anymore. Found where it said the sports physician.
Booster seats now. The yellow pages they're booster seats.
Exactly. So found where it said a sports physician. I went into his office. That person name is Dr. Jones, who is a great mentor in my life, or have been since then. And I shadowed him for an afternoon. He said he was a chiropractor, and I was like, okay, whatever that is, but cool. I did my assignment, didn't care much else for anything. Turned in my assignment. I got a good grade, so that's good. But I sent him a thank you note. And with the thank you note, he offered me a position in his office as a chiropractic assistant. And that's where it started.
Well, tell me a little bit about the growth of your wellness center. Tell us a little bit how that happened, how you opened it, how it evolved. It's really critical that would-be entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs, people that look like us, that they understand that this stuff takes time, and there's a evolution, and there's a process. So why don't you kind of walk us through a little bit about your path to open up your wellness center? And we'll add on the other components of your business too.
Absolutely. So when I started Walker Chiropractic and Wellness Center, I was actually working for another physician. I oversaw that office in Fort Lauderdale, and I just felt like there were some restrictions in what I could do and couldn't do. And then, one day I was like, I'm going to open my office, and I already had that entrepreneurial bug, know that I wanted to open in my city that I grew up in. I was in masterminds that I was writing this down, kind of visioning this thing happened a long time before. And it was very detailed in the sense that I am opening the office in Miramar, Florida. So when I felt like I was restricted, I called a friend who is a chiropractor and just said, I need a realtor. No business plan, no thought of how this was going to happen. Just like, if I need an office, I'm just going to open this. Right. Mm-hmm. So ignorance is bliss. So the realtor, I found this location, and I said to the realtor, this is the location that I want. At the time I had some savings and the blessings of my parents. So I was like, okay, we got first and last, let's go.
Yeah. Blind faith, right? Blind
faith. That was
plan, Now, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, because I want to ask you some questions about what you would tell what kind of discussions you would have with your younger self, right? Okay. I will ask that question in a second. But one of the things I want to know is, because of the fact that you went in without a business plan, but you had a dream and a definite idea about what this thing looks like. Plus, you had a fair amount of experience doing it already, running it for somebody else. So you didn't go into this thing blind. But talk to me a little about how you handled the cost of opening up a business, because obviously, there's a fair amount of capital involved in this. How did you do that? How did you get past that hurdle?
So one, initiated with a blessing. I did have a blessing. I had a blessing of the mentor that I had when I gave a thank you note years ago. At that time, when I was going into business, he was retiring. So what I thought would have been me just opening one room, and I was okay with that because I know that businesses take time to grow. I had the opportunity of purchasing everything that he had in his office.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah. So I didn't open one door. I opened all the rooms and also had storage. So that was a portion that was at a lesser cost. But I did shadow other doctors. And I remember this one female chiropractor saying to me, I opened my office with $2,000. And I thought to myself, if she can do it, I'm going to try. Right. So that was the blessing in itself there. But I had a lot of people encouraging me that they made it seem like it was going to be really, really simple, like really simple. It wasn't simple. I just felt like they really believed in me. And I believed in myself. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. Okay. Yeah. So I did get in, but then there was the space of growing pains, and it was a matter of matriculating through those growing pains. When I finally got a business coach after, he was like, you are running a business. We need to get you into business, right? There were growing pains, but the passion that flowed behind it allowed things to flow effectively. And I understood my assignment.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I really want to kind of I want to drill down into that a little bit. So part of this part of this show is to try to help, again, young
Yeah.
entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs understand the potential problems and those kinds of things. Give us some examples of some of the, let's call it, pitfalls that you literally had to hurdle, or some of the things that specifically caused you some problems,
Okay. So initially
and how
going.
you handle them. I'm sorry, how you
No,
handle
absolutely. So initially going in, I didn't know how to obtain the right resources, right? So resource pitfall.
right,
I didn't go with full guidance. I just had a passion, and passion sometimes doesn't get you directly where you need to be. So
right,
I would say definitely get mentorship, get connected to business groups, just get connected. And then outside of that, I started talking about what I wanted to do before I actually did it. So patients were coming through the door because of that conversation. So in the sense of a business plan, I truly didn't
excuse me.
know
Mhm.
the vision or the dollars for my office because I didn't have that in place. So a pitfall. Initially, when I opened the office, I was the marketer, the front desk person. I was the
Of course.
chiropractor. Listen, and I'm meticulous about having a clean office. So I was the one cleaning. I was doing everything. I was doing wearing all the hats. And from then to now, I just have my passion is, or my desire is, for every patient who walk through the office, they should feel like family, right? On the day that you
Cool.
like family, the days you like them, right? So I want them to feel special. So because of that, a pitfall was that I wasn't prepared to hire someone. Right. So I had to get the resource then, and I tapped into a local school that had a medical assistant intern with me. And then after that, I was in the position to hire because remember, I didn't have a business plan or true capital. So it was
Right.
the patients were coming in, I was gaining those dollars in order to go forward and paying. So that was a pitfall. One,
Gotcha.
maybe having a little bit of capital, to foresee the things that will free your hand, because then my hands would have been free to probably go out more in the community market. And I didn't have an employee in place. So in turn, making sure that there is a growth process or a direction for growth while implementing these things.
And that makes perfect sense. And it's the kinds of things that people are the surprises that they
Yeah.
have. I think that one of the biggest things that you've said just now is the fact that you've got to get to a point in time when you've kind of thought through some of those things and maybe have the capital to sustain it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your supplement business. And obviously you got your chiropractic business off the ground and it's running smooth, and you say to yourself, hey, look, what else can I do? And I don't want me to put words in your mouth, but I really want to kind of understand that path. How did you go from running the successful chiropractic business to adding on some product lines?
Yeah. So it's literally um just an expansion of the office. I would have patients that will come through my door, and I know they desired quality supplements, right? So my whole body gleams to that, but it's also the space of having a well-rounded individual. So my whole body gleams to just not just the supplements, but just us living better, being able
Mm-hmm.
to live better. So
Mm-hmm.
when patients would come into the office and they desire that supplementation, so the focus of my whole body is to build supplements in just certain areas. So it's not a brand that's looking to do, you go and you get all the list of supplements, but it's focusing on just a 5 tier of what I believe affects the African American community the most, right? So your immune system, diabetes, high blood pressure, sleeping, our probiotics, and weight loss, right? So just that
Mm-hmm.
focus where patients or individuals can have. And then the biggest picture behind it was my office is in Miramar, Florida.
Got it.
Wanted to be able to touch people beyond my four walls or beyond the reach of the capacity, I think, driving distance to get to the office. So that was another reason for us to make sure that our community and beyond have the capacity to get quality supplementation, right?
Mm-hmm.
quality supplementation that can assist with their whole body experience.
Got it. A question for you: are you more or less formulating? And when I say formulating, I mean working with a product company formulate these vitamins on your own. Or you've decided to tap into a product line that you believe in? How did that part of it work?
So we are currently with a product line that I totally believe in. Like
Okay.
their supplementation is, but the growth is, or the conversations that are happening now is with the scientists to break down those supplements to where I am the
Hmm.
builder behind that. Yes.
Perfect. That sounds good. Now, how has this complemented your business? Do you believe that it dovetails nicely, it complements, or it's taken off on its own, and they're mutually exclusive?
You
You kind of
because
answered the question before, but I just want to drill down a little further. That's all.
It definitely complements. It definitely complements because someone can walk through the door and get their vitamins. So that
Got it.
portion. But beyond that, there's someone who can just jump online and say, these are supplementations that I need, and purchase those. But it absolutely complement, because at the office, we definitely stand behind our chiropractic care, but we stand behind the wellness of someone, right? So it's not just, hey, I have ailments, I may be feeling this way. We want to make sure that you're living your optimal health. And supplementation is definitely in the space of us living our optimal health, because we
Absolutely.
don't, we
We
live this,
don't. We
yeah,
don't.
we don't.
We
We
like
don't
our
supplement.
oxtails, and
Exactly. So even
we
some of our, I was going to say,
these.
even one of our best sellers is the vitamin D, and our community do not. Um, we are most deficient in vitamin D. So it's just pausing to make sure, one, even in this time, building our immune system. So as you can see on the screen there, you have
Right.
our products that help to build our immune system. Yes.
Right. Wow, that's actually really, really interesting, and I think that I congratulate you on not only seeing that this is important, but doing something about it, right? Because it's easy to as a doctor to say, "Hey, look, this is important," and do nothing. But I think it's significant when you take a stand and a position, and you basically do something to help.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears a little bit, because I read a little bit about your program, Transform Your Life. Tell us
Yes.
about that program.
So Transform Your Life initially started when I was in chiropractic school, and I would travel everywhere and just talk about the fact of us building our, we were just saying, just a whole body. I didn't have my whole body as that name at that time, but it
Got
just
it.
kind of flowed into. And the thing is that, if it's weight loss, if it's career goals, if it's any of those things, we typically want to look at it as this big picture, right? And how do we bite off this big picture at one time
Right.
compared to taking little steps? It's so much easier to say that you're going to lose 5 pounds rather than saying, I got to lose 30 pounds, right? That sounds like
Right.
it's
Right.
going to take forever. So it comes in the premise of your health, your ambition, your drive, those things that allow you to be this person you desire to be. But transforming your life is just one little piece at a time. So it's kind of having your mosaic picture of, this
Hmm.
is going to be a masterpiece, but you're taking one of the pieces at a time to build that masterpiece. So we encourage individuals to take it one step at a time as they transform their life.
Well, what's the vision for that? Are you going to do an app, or is there an app involved?
Well, so I'm an entrepreneur that my brain's always ticking. So there's no
Yeah.
app in places yet, but I love those ideas that you're throwing out. But there's definitely more to come in the sense of that big picture.
Yeah. Well, I could see that working really well as an app, just like Noom does, Noom and all those things. But
Ah, yeah.
it's focused in our community. It's
Mhm.
helping our community, and it's taking a slightly different, let's call it, trajectory. But I could see that actually working in an app. Now,
Okay,
I,
some notes.
I
I
need
like
some secret sauce, right?
that.
Okay.
Okay,
I
secret
need some
sauce.
secret sauce. I need you to give me some advice for
Mhm.
all of the budding Black entrepreneurs that are watching this show, to say, okay, These are some things that you have got to make sure that you check this box if you're going to start your own business. And I tell you what, I even give you another branch of that. I know that you have a thing for Black female chiropractors or Black female business people. I'm going to even let you give that advice to female, which might be slightly different than you would for the masses.
Yeah. So I would say focus, right? Your
Okay.
dream is a passion that you have on the inside, and it definitely can be executed, right? I would say get guidance, right? Get guidance in the sense of if it's another directed chiropractor, I'm here.
Hmm.
Outside of that, communicating the fundamentals of your desire and how you can walk through it. I was sharing earlier before we got on that one of the things that we don't get in chiropractic school or we don't get as healthcare practitioners is the business portion. So we come out with a desire to be a practitioner, but now we're running a business. One of the programs that I got into was Goldman Sachs, the 10,000 small business. Get into things that will allow that business portion for you to grow. Find out your niche, find out your, what we call now your avatar, and focus. There's a lot of things that can happen, but you got to focus and get the fundamentals of business, get mentorship, and you are your best marketer.
Got it. Got it. You mentioned a little bit before about mentors. Okay.
Yes.
Why don't you give me about two? I mean, and certainly everybody's got that one person that's really special, but then there are other people that have touched your life because I always say it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a village of mentors to raise a successful Black business person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
give me some examples of some mentors that you want to A, give some props to, and then B, tell us how that those having those mentorships impacted your life. Because a lot of times, especially in the very beginning, as you're building a business, you're working in the business and not on the business, right?
Business. Yeah.
So the idea, the concept of going out and getting a mentor is kind of foreign to you when you're trying to keep the lights on and pay payroll, right? But
Yes.
getting these mentorships are really, really important. So give us some examples, several examples of mentors that if you've have allowed to affect the trajectory of your business and your life.
So I will say that the fundamental, and I am so grateful, like truly grateful for the family I was placed into, because the first guidance of mentorship I had were my parents. Like, I am blessed to have
Gotcha.
those two. So that was the first direction. My mom, just her loving what she was doing. And my dad, he has such a servant heart. And I got the blessing of both those two combined. My mom is truly an entrepreneur, even though she worked as a nurse for a blank amount of years, but she is an entrepreneur at heart. So those were
Now,
my
what did your
first.
dad do? What did your
My
dad
dad's
do?
a pastor. My dad's a
Okay.
pastor.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
So those were the first two direction of mentorship for me. Along the way, even in school, and then when I came up on Dr. Jones, it was a thank you note, but he definitely took me underneath his wings as that guidance. I have a lot of women that I look up to in the community as a whole. Dr. Ball, Jermaine Ball, who is a community leader here, Dr. Osgood, Dr. Mia Merritt. I really get some people who say, look here, girl, I'm gonna just sponsor you. Like, I'm gonna really take
Right.
care of you.
Right. 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 Right.
Even when I got into the 10,000 business program for Goldman Sachs, it was Angela Messam that told me about that program. So it was people who were like, I see what you're doing and I want to. Now I, on my own, have reached out to people. So Alan Russo, who's an
Right.
advisor of my office, but I must say mentorship, and that's why I freely give mentorship freely give in the capacity of, if you need to come and have a conversation about how this has happened, because you can too, let's have the conversation. But those have been some of my pillars in my life that have drive some direction through guidance for where I am today.
Thank you. And all too, not nearly often enough, we don't give the people that have done. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying in general, the people that have been responsible don't hear it enough. And I think that's really important. So I appreciate you kind of bearing that and sharing that information, because I think it's good if any of those guys get to hear this broadcast, it's gonna warm their heart and make their day. So the last thing that I'm going to ask you is I mentioned to you before, I was going to circle back and ask you what you would say to your younger self. What would you say to your younger self? Whether it has something to do with your business or not, but give us some ideas of some things that if you had the opportunity to go back and talk to your younger self, what would you say?
If I had to say to my younger self, so I didn't share this, but I'm the president of the Owen Walker Jr. Foundation because my brother passed away some years ago from a heart attack. And
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was 22 years old and he passed away from a heart attack. So it was tragic for my family. But I would say to my younger self that sometimes when life hits you, or life will hit you, not sometimes, when life hits you, do not stop the course, right? Just continue on. And that things will happen, but even though they do, the greatness that's on the inside of you will continue to flourish. Keep the course, continue the path, those dreams, those goals, they will be yours.
Got it. All right. Last, what's on the horizon for you? Why don't you I'm going to give you the opportunity to give us a shameless plug, right? What's going on? What do you have on the horizon? Congratulations on you being included in again in the book. Telling your story with the other successful business people. I think that's just huge. Congratulations on being included in those 13 stories.
Yes.
But what else is going on?
Okay, so what else is going on? I mean, beyond anyone who ever wants to come to Walker Chiropractic Wellness Center, our doors are wide open for you. And right, my whole body, anytime that is online for your service. But beyond that, I am going into more of a organized way of making sure that I am pouring my passion or pouring what I've been able to accomplish in Black female entrepreneurs, healthcare providers, because the world need us. They need us, right? They need us. And we need to be able to stand as leaders and to be able to cheer effectively. I believe if we have strong Black female healthcare providers that can stand at pillars in our community, then in turn, our community will want to seek us for care. In turn, we'll work to have a better community. So that's on the horizon, where it won't be just casual, but I will make sure that I'm taking that time to really, really give back in that capacity.
I really, really applaud you for that. Thank you very much for all you do to give back to the community. God knows we're all very busy, but I have to applaud the people that are very intentional about doing what in effect is improving the lives of the people within our community. So if you just hang on for 1 second, I have to thank our sponsors. So with that being said, because it's so important that these guys are not only giving of their time, but also giving of their treasures, their resources to support this program. So Demesman and Dover, personal injury attorneys, thank you very much. Thanks, Victor, for all you do, not only supporting the community, but supporting Black colleges. I appreciate everything that you do. The Florida Lottery and Career Source of South Florida. Also, Career Source of South Florida has a pretty amazing website out there where basically they list jobs that you can apply for, and they change those jobs every week. So please, please, please go to support Career Source of South Florida by going to their website, and at the same time find the next opportunity for you. I truly believe that they try really hard to make a difference. So with that being said, again, Dr. Walker, thank you very much for your time. You could have been doing anything else today, but you chose to do this. Thank you very much. Again, my name is Jay Reynolds. I own and operate Wolf Creek Consulting. We are an executive staffing firm, finance, accounting, and IT. And I truly believe that if anything is to be, it's really up to me and to you. We're going to do this again next week, same time, 1 o'clock. Thank you very much for being here. Have a great day, and hope you enjoyed our installment of the business of Black business.